boy, is it cold and windy. Well, here's a nice, snazzy high platform station at Port Jervis, which oddly they did not use. They drop passengers off on the boards here. Looks like it's open. Well, I see the switch at the east end of the platform is still hand thrown. I guess in order to expedite the arrival, they use the track to the right, which has the boards to let off the passengers. This way you could pull right in and stop without having to stop and set the switch and then go into the station, which slows things up a bit. But that equipment I took in on 71 deadheaded right out of here a few minutes later. Last time I was here was about, almost 4 years ago during the pandemic. They've done some interlocking work here. I know the west end of the yard has an interlock switch as we're looking west, just east of the station at Port Jervis. This was once a great Erie Railroad and Erie-Lackawanna Railroad town. They had a big yard. They had an engine facility with lots of locomotives sitting around. I used to go here back in the early 70s, and you'd see all kinds of Erie-Lackawanna locomotives sitting in there. Oh, I wish the Flying Yankee could have seen that. Whoa. This area where I'm walking is storage tracks for the passenger equipment. They used to run E8s with Stillwell coaches up here years ago, and they used to tie the equipment down in this general area. You can see the steeple on the left there. That's the old Erie Railroad Depot here in Port Jervis. Well, this beautiful red building is the old Erie Railroad Depot in Port Jervis. It's now some kind of a business. They stopped using this station in the early 80s when they built a new station down towards the storage yard for the passenger trains. They used to run like 2 rush hour trains a day each way up until 1983, and then they greatly expanded the service after that. Right there was a grandstand. Between 1996 and 1998, Ross Rowland ran fan trips from Hoboken to here with C&O 614, a 484. Happily, that locomotive is going to be restored at the Strasburg Railroad Steam Shop and may run here again. I believe Ross Rowland still owns the locomotive. The Erie Depot, but it has an Erie-Lackawanna logo on it. Now this is more accurate. The famous Erie Hotel. Note the Erie logo. Looks like a very inviting place to have lunch and a glass of wine on this chilly day. It's only 26 degrees up here. And 73 is arriving Port Jervis at 1:52. Here to stop and set the switch. It's 5 minutes to 3, and here comes train 78 out of the yard at Port Jervis. It's got a GP40 in the rear. Time is 3:04 on train 78 with departing Port Jervis. Look at that fancy Metro North sign there and this little high-level platform traveling down the old Erie main line. This is actually the city of Port Jervis. Just a short walk across the Delaware River from here to Matamoras, Pennsylvania. I had to take that obligatory walk. I was only there for 5 minutes. ride this train to Hoboken, but I'll try to record the ride as far as Secaucus. It'll be dark by the time we get there. One of the more scenic rides you'll take in the New York metro area. And we're stopping to throw the switch leading from the yard to the main track here. You'd think they would have interlocked that. Alright, finally heading out. Shortly you'll get a chance to see the beautiful brick red Erie Depot. Right here is the Erie Hotel Restaurant. Excellent place to eat. A lot of food selections. There it is. Beautiful station. Port Jervis is at roughly milepost 87 and a decimal from Hoboken, but the routing is actually longer. The mileage to Port Jervis is based on the main line mileage, but we take the Graham line past Howells, which adds about 6 or 7 miles to the journey. And you'll notice a disparity in the milepost. I'll explain later. From here we're going to climb up the Schwangunk Mountains. Those are pretty steep grade for freight trains coming east out of Port Jervis. Years ago, this town saw tons of freight trains and just those rush hour passenger trains. Now it's pretty much reversed.
Have your attention, please. The next station is Otisville.
They run quite a few rush hour trains out of here in the morning and back at night. Milepost 86. Very cold day, 27 degrees with a biting wind. You really couldn't stand to be out more than about 10 or 15 minutes in it. On a day like this, the best place to be is take your sweet old time eating and drinking at the Erie Hotel Restaurant and hanging out at the Walgreens Pharmacy, maybe even going to Burger King. See some of the old utility poles on this Erie line. Yeah, we're way up there on the Shawangunk Mountains. Back when they improved the service to Port Jervis and they added a lot of trains, even off-peak trains, I think that was in 83. I took a ride up here on a Saturday in 1984 in the wintertime. It was had an RDC from Suffern, and when that RDC was coming back, I thought he was going to conk out on this hill. He was really working. You see this ledge here? That's a famous ledge for photographers capturing aerial Lackawanna freight trains. Post 84. Even though this is Metro North financed, all these New York State stops, the trains are operated under contract by New Jersey Transit. New Jersey Transit equipment usually, New Jersey Transit crews. They do run a number of Metro North painted locomotives and some cars, but they're really New Jersey Transit equipment in disguise. What's going on here? I hope this isn't a repeat of something that happened in the late 80s when I came out of here with a U-34CH in the back. As we were climbing out of Port Jervis, the train just stopped suddenly. The U-34CH launched a cylinder into the woods. We pretty much coasted back to Port Jervis, and we all got a ride in a van to Suffern. That was back when the U-34CHs were on their last legs. Post 83. still see some of the old Erie Railroad milepost out here. That mileage is supposed to be measured from Jersey City. But yet the mileage on the milepost, the modern milepost, and now it's listed in the timetable, seems to suggest that the mileage is from Hoboken. On the timetable, Hoboken is 0.0. Milepost 81. Amazing, they run about 7 rush hour trains each way. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to catch the very first train out of here, Port Jervis to Hoboken, the morning rush. Well, this area we're going through now is Shin Hollow. This is where the old grade that went over the top of the mountain diverged. We instead go through Otisville Tunnel. Loved to have ridden on those old Erie-Lackawanna rush hour trains that had the E8s and the Stillwell coaches. Man, that E8 would have really been making a racket going up that hill out of Port Jervis. They ran 2 each way, 2 down in the morning, 2 back at night on the weekdays, and 1 down on the morning and 1 back at night on Saturdays. Nothing on Sundays. Now you have quite a few trains on Sundays, 7 days a week as a matter of fact. He's really rolling through here. A lot of climbing to reach this right of way from the road. soon we'll be coming to Otisville Tunnel. It's a little over a mile long. One time that was the longest tunnel on the Conrail system. The tunnel. Supposedly the temperature is always constant in this tunnel, 50 something degrees. Probably feel nice and warm in here today. Okay, we emerge from the tunnel, approaching Otisville Station.
This station stop is Otisville.
Milepost 74. Interlocking here is OV. Oscar Victor.
Stop at Otisville, the station stop is Otisville. It's on, we're seeing up the front door at the front of the train.
This starts a several mile piece of double track. It goes as far as Howells Junction. We should be passing train 75 on the way from Hoboken to Port Jervis. Yeah, this is the old Erie main line that we're on. At Howells is where we enter the Graham line. It was a freight bypass, a low-grade line. Avoided the steep grades of the main line. The main line really was a topsy-turvy line. Used to go through downtown Middletown, downtown Goshen, past the Monroe Museum Village. Had quite a few grade crossings on it, but the Graham line has no crossings. This is where it gets interesting. All right, here's our opposing train, number 75, with the Conrail.
Station stop, Milltown, New York. Milltown, New York, next.
How about that? I saw him go down this morning on train 72. I think it was 74 actually. All right, we're on that double track section now. Man, that Conrail is a busy engine today. Traveling at least 400 miles back and forth. Hoboken to Port Jervis. I'm assuming he's coming back later this evening. Almost 400 miles this date.
The next station is Middletown. When leaving the train, please watch the gap.
trains take place on this passing track. Might even be considered double track, I'm not sure. But you're going to have a mileage disparity pretty soon. To reflect the mileage via the old main line versus the Graham line. This is Howells Junction right here. Milepost 69 there, but it's going to go up. This is where we leave the old main line and enter the Graham line. Now it's milepost 76. Just added about 8 miles to the trip there. This is Graham Line mileposts. This is the line that these Port Jervis trains started using when they expanded service in '83. I remember riding behind CNO 614 on a fan trip up here in 1996, and he was ripping through here at 70. Milepost 75. talking to French Onion Soup the other day, and he says part of this line runs on the old New York, Ontario, and Western. And he was kind of like hoping that New Jersey Transit would paint a heritage unit in New York, Ontario, and Western colors. Well, I don't know, Ben. Well, they used to run between Bound Brook and Trenton for a little while until the early 80s. They should paint up a Reading engine. I personally wish they painted a Jeep in the Erie Lackawanna colors instead of one of those ALP 45s. It would have looked more like the old Erie Lackawanna GP 35s. I think this train makes most, if not all, stops to Ridgewood and then non-stop to Secaucus.
Now arrive at Middletown.
Milepost 72. Didn't we just pass milepost 72? We were coming into what they call Middletown. This is actually the outskirts of Middletown. The old main went right through downtown Middletown. Back when they were running the C&O 614 fan trips, they used to fly through here at 70. Everybody would always try to beat it out of Port Jervis, and this was the first place you could really catch it. Middletown, town of Wallkill.
Campbell next stop.
Campbell Hall has a little yard for a short line. Back in the summer of 1971, I took a fan trip behind nickel plate 759. Erie Lackawanna loved running fan trips. Rode 650, nickel plate 759 on the Graham line. Rode from Hoboken to Binghamton up on that Saturday, and Binghamton to Hoboken on the old Lackawanna back on Sunday. It was in August of 1971. Back then, the Erie Lackawanna was running a lot of freight on the Erie route, and then a couple of years later, they shifted it onto the Lackawanna. Some storm called Agnes screwed things up for the Erie Lackawanna. It was never the same after that. Washed out a lot of track. They lost a lot of money. It's a pity. The weather has improved. Milepost 70. Interstate 84 there. Track is in really good shape. It can really move on this. Campbell Hall Yard. Might see some interesting locomotives in this yard here. Used to be a Conrail yard. Yeah, look what's up here. New Jersey Transit work engine, 4102, former CNJ unit, GP40 page 2, and look at this Middletown and New Jersey engine. Beautiful. This caboose, and look at this thing, man. Looks like a GP9 that's classic GM power in this place. Engine 773. GP9? I'm not sure. Look at this. Former Norfolk Southern GP38-2, now owned by Middletown and New Jersey.
Salisbury Mill picks up.
I haven't seen too many former Jersey Central GP40 PH-2s running around. The only ones I've seen are 4100, 4101, and the 4109, the CNJ. Right up ahead here is the interlocking where the New York Susquehanna and Western goes off. The Susquehanna runs freight on this line out towards Binghamton. CP Hall. like Hudson Junction. Now we're down to single track and the Susquehanna veered off. The Gladstone branch is scenic, but this is much more so. Milepost 59. The new milepost and the old milepost next to it says JC 59, Jersey City. Well, that's where the Erie Railroad used to have their old terminal before they consolidated into Hoboken with the Lackawanna. I think that was in the late 50s they did that. engine, since it's been put into service on New Jersey Trans, it's been doing some heavy-duty Port Jervis hauling. On occasion, it's put on a Waldwick round trip, but it always seems to finish the day doing Port Jervis. Might be an indication of how well that engine is running. It's got a brand new prime mover in it. Saw it twice last week on Port Jervis trains. Post 56.
This station stop is Salisbury Mills, Cornwall.
Now arriving at Salisbury Mills, the station stop is Salisbury Mills.
After we leave here, we'll be passing over the biggest sensation on the Port Jervis Line, the Mudna Viaduct. We don't hear much horn simply because there are no crossings on this line, but you'll hear it later. On the Bergen County line, there's lots of crossings.
Next station stop will be Harriman. Harriman will be next.
Check out this view. And that is some view. I don't think you can beat this on a commuter railroad.
The next station is Harriman.
Saw a chair there for a rail fan? Valley there, I can just make out the New York Thruway. Soon we'll be coming to CP Valley. We'll pick up another track. 50. You can definitely see traffic on the thruway over there. Well, post 48. CP Valley. This is Central Valley, New York. The siding goes down to Harriman Junction where the old main line used to join up with this Graham line.
now arriving Harriman.
Harriman, named after E.H. Harriman, former president of the SP and the UP.
Now arriving at Harriman, destination stop is Harriman.
Just went through CP Harriman. Next stop, Tuxedo. Before we get there, we'll be negotiating a lot of twists and turns.
They want to let you sign out?
No. They said that
Okay.
he has done my phone.
Tuxedo, next stop.
All right.
Tuxedo.
Try restarting the app. Try closing the application out and restart the app.
What's
Yeah.
the application?
Yeah, close the application out entirely.
Well, I can tell you I'm old school. I still like to use paper tickets, with the exception of Amtrak.
The next station is Tuxedo.
Wow, that's a Whizzle crossing. This is by the old Arden station, which was a post office, but I think it's abandoned now. So apparently that's a crossing that you blow for past Tuxedo, but I know up to this point there aren't any. I've never seen a line with other than the Northeast Corridor that's such a long distance without road crossings. Well, just before Tuxedo and a few crossings before Suffern, there are some crossings. It's getting kind of dark. That's the Ramapo River out there. There's a lot of Ramapo everything up here. Schools, rivers, valleys. This is about the cleanest window on this train, believe it or not. Well, I guess you can believe it because New Jersey Transit's been replacing a lot of windows on their cars because you can't see out them. They're very opaque. Here's the Ramapo River and the New York Thruway. This part of the ride is pretty slow with all the curves.
This station stop is Tuxedo.
See a rail fan in that shed? You can hear that K5 LA horn in that cab car. New Jersey Transit loves K5 LAs.
Oh, you got it? Alright. Yes, I guess to solve that error, you can just turn the application off and on. It helps. Because I've seen that error pop up a couple times. Usually doing that fixes it. No problem.
about 4:25 p.m. and daylight's fading fast, but the days are getting longer now.
Now arriving Slopeberg Station.
Sloatsburg. This is CP Sterling. Over there is a thruway service plaza. On the northbound side, it's called Sloatsburg. On the southbound side, it's called Ramapo.
The next station is Suffolk.
Approaching Suffern, terminal for New Jersey Transit trains. Milepost 33. Yeah, we're passing under the thruway. And we'll pass under it again before we get to Suffern.
stop is Suffern.
You see the Piermont branch off to the left here.
This station stop is Suffern. Please tell passengers after Suffern, this train will be making limited stops. We'll be stopping at Mawa, Ranch Route 17, Ramsey Main Street, Allendale, Bridgewood, Secaucus Junction, and Hoboken. Once again, this is Suffern. After Suffern, this train will only be stopping at Mawa, Ramsey Route 17, Ramsey Main Street, Allendale, Ridgewood, Secaucus Junction, and Hoboken Terminal.
Suffern. Last station in New York.
Train will be making limited stops. After Mawa, this train stops at Ramsey Route 17, Ramsey Main Street, Allendale, Ridgewood, Secaucus Junction, and Hoboken Terminal only. This train will not stop at Waldwick, Secaucus, or any stops locally between Ridgewood and Secaucus. Once again, Mawa will be next.
Crossing into New Jersey. Shoot this way as it's getting dark.
The next station is Mawa. This station stop is Mawa.
Mawa.
Next station stop will be Ranger Route 17. Ranger Route 17 will be next.
Ramsey Route 17 station. When leaving the train, please watch the gap.
Ramsey Route
Station
17.
stop, Ramsey Route 17, Ramsey Route 17, the station stop. Mind the gap between the train and the platform while exiting, Ramsey Route 17.
Never went here to Railfran. Always went to the main Ramsey station. That seems to be where it's at. It's where I meet all those crazy rail fans. A lot of wacko rail fans in Ramsey. That's why I like to go to Brady's at the station there. Usually when I meet them, I usually have to drink a half a dozen of those Cabernets.
Ramsey Main Street will be next, Ramsey Main Street.
That's got to be a Port Jervis train led by the 4100, one of my favorite Jeeps.
The next station is Ramsey.
Stop is Ramsey Main Street.
Ramsey.
This station stop is Ramsey.
I haven't been up here in a while. It's a great place to see the Port Jervis trains blasting through here, blowing for the crossings.
Next station stop will be Allendale, followed by Ridgewood. Once again, Allendale will be next, followed by Ridgewood. This train will not be stopping at Waldwick or Secaucus. Next station stop is Allendale. Allendale is the station stop. General reminder, passengers, after Allendale, this train's next stop will be Ridgewood. Once again, this is Allendale. After Allendale, this train's next stop will be Ridgewood.
Like everyone wears the one. No, everyone wears that one.
You can see the old Erie Railroad concrete design of the station. Ridgewood looks like that too.
Charlie 5 and 6.
Next station stop will be Ridgewood. Ridgewood will be next. Transfer to Ridgewood for local service on both the Main and Bergen County line. After Ridgewood, this train expresses to Secaucus Junction. Once again, Ridgewood next. Transfer to Ridgewood for local service on both the Main and Bergen County line. After Ridgewood, this train's following stop will be Secaucus Junction.
Out at 4:48 p.m. Surely it'll be blowing for the Chestnut Street crossing.
Alright, so we're coming on the lower level. You're going to be going to the upstairs to the upper level for Penn Station.
The tracks you see there are part of Walwick Yard.
The next station is Ridgewood. Leaving the train, please watch the gap.
Interlocking here is WC. We pick up a third track here. Just past the whistle stop. Past the Woolwich station. Whistle stops, you can get ice cream and things like that. It's a popular rail fan spot to get a little quick bite. Burger, hot dog. Now we're negotiating Collins Curve. Hollywood Avenue. Secaucus. Crossing was Warren Avenue. From here you can get a glimpse of the Manhattan skyline. Coming in to beautiful downtown Ridgewood, New Jersey. Very nice town.
Now arriving at Ridgewood, the station stop is Ridgewood. Trains are here at Ridgewood for local service on both the Main and Bergen County lines. After Ridgewood, this train's next stop will be Secaucus Junction. Once again, this is Ridgewood. Trains are here at Ridgewood for local trains. After Ridgewood, this train's next stop will be Secaucus Junction.
Great place to eat here is the Steel Wheel Tavern. It's right across the street. It's that building with the white front.
Hoboken Express train, next station stop will be Secaucus Junction. Secaucus Junction will be next. Train through Secaucus Junction for the train to Penn Station, New York, and all other New Jersey transit rail lines. Secaucus Junction next.
And the Christmas tree here is still lit up.
Tickets, please. Secaucus will be next.
Next stop is Secaucus. You'll hear a lot of whistle blowing between here and there as we negotiate the Bergen County line. No, scratch that. We're going down the main line. Not many crossings on that.
Watch the gap.
There goes the Bergen County line there. Glen Rock Main Street Station. I don't know if you noticed it, but where the Bergen County line split off, you saw the old Ridgewood Junction Tower. Yeah, this is actually the best way for him to go because there's a local that goes via the Bergen County line. This train gets into Secaucus about a minute or two after he does, so if he's running a little late, it could slow us up. At least this way, we have nothing to slow us down. At least no trains. Hawthorne. Okay, we're on former Erie Railroad track, but that's going to change. When we go a little past Patterson, we're going to go on to old Lackawanna trackage. Lackawanna line used to curve to the west from Patterson Junction and became U.S. or Interstate Highway 80. We leave Erie track at Patterson. That's the old line that went right through the middle of Passaic, joined up with the Bergen County line further down. This is Patterson, New Jersey, birthplace of comedian Lou Costello from Abbott and Costello. In fact, his partner Bud Abbott, he was from Asbury Park. Okay, shortly we're going to leave former Erie track and enter former Lackawanna track. Right here. That track you see on the far end, that's what's left of the old Erie line. Used to go through downtown Passaic. I mean, right through the heart of town. I mean, there were crossings all over the place. People screamed and ranted and raved about it, and they finally rerouted the track to go on the outskirts of town on Lackawanna tracks. Yeah, the Erie tracks are going off down there. I think it's still used as a spur, but it doesn't go very far. Right here, we're on former Lackawanna track. Not sure exactly where we entered the Lackawanna tracks. I know there was a connector that was built between the Erie and the Lackawanna. Well, we're definitely on it now. This is Clifton, New Jersey. Clifton, what I remember about Clifton, it was the home of old WPIX Channel 11 star Officer Joe Bolton. He used to host the Three Stooges, and he would say that he was from Clifton. Good old Officer Joe Bolton. Most of you watching this video probably don't know who the heck I'm talking about. It's way before your time. That's the song Officer Joe Bolton would walk on stage with. He also did the news on Channel 11 sometimes. Officer Joe Bolton often had the actual Three Stooges on the show. Moe, Larry, Joe DeRita. This is Passaic, the Lackawanna Passaic. The Erie Passaic station was right downtown. Well, the next station is proof positive that this is former Lackawanna trackage. Yeah, this station is called Delawana. That doesn't sound like an Erie Railroad station. Delawana. The name of the Lackawanna was the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western. Delawana definitely has that Lackawanna influence. This station is Lyndhurst, not to be confused with Lindenhurst. One time we had a visiting priest at our Catholic church in Lindenhurst, and I think he was on drugs or something, because during the middle of his little sermon, he just said to everybody, he says, I just want to thank all of you pleasant people from Lyndhurst, New Jersey, for showing up at church today. The whole congregation started murmuring, like, what the heck? Doesn't he know where he is? Well, that's Kingsland Station. Kingsland and Lyndhurst are going to be combined into one station, and the Kingsland Station is going to be closed. Well, we're getting close to Secaucus Junction. We'll be joining up with the Bergen County up ahead here. Going the Hackensack River. Joining up with the Bergen County. That train over there, that's the Bergen County line local that we would have been behind had we run on the Bergen County.
Attention passengers, we're now arriving at Secaucus Junction. Destination stop is Secaucus Junction. Train for here at Secaucus Junction, board a train to Penn Station, New York, and all other New Jersey trains and rail lines. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Passengers attending tonight's rodeo, Madison Square Garden. When you arrive at Penn Station, New York, follow the overhead sign for entrances to Madison Square Garden. Once again, this is Secaucus Junction. Train for here at Secaucus Junction, board a train to Penn Station, New York, and all other New Jersey trains and rail lines. Trains for Penn Station, New York will be on the upper level of the station. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. After Secaucus Junction, the train's next and last stop will be Hoboken Terminal.
Oh yes, the rodeo at Madison Square Garden. I was in Trax Raw Bar and Grill last night about 7 o'clock. Place was loaded with noisy cow punchers. I'm gonna go there again tonight, but I want no part of that. I'm gonna time it so that I get there when they're leaving to go to the rodeo, so I can get some peace and quiet. Well, here we are at Secaucus. We're doing it 5:14. We're right on the button. And this train is going to get empty.